that his graphical design was somewhat exponential. So we are halfway, but the steepest step has to come. As I mentioned, I have the opportunity to live in a family. I have 5 kids, and they're all born.
Yes, tell us. Digital natives at home.
Digital natives.
Yes.
And I'm working for Van der Mortel, where I'm living in a rather classical company and in a rather classical IT environment. So it is now how to use the inspiration you get at home to see the changes in the company. And another fact is, and I presume Van der Mortel is not only in that position. That is, if I look to the pyramid and the age pyramid in our company, and I assume that within 5 years the same number of people will work at Van der Mortel as today, then 20% will have shift out, and 20% new people have to shift in to replace them. Just that means that 20% of the age of the people working for Van der Mortel within 5 years will be at least digital natives, because there are also people working as digital natives. So what does that mean? That means that we as IT have to prepare ourselves for a complete change. And basically we are doing that, because if you are concentrating systems and virtualizing applications and things like that, you are more and more centralizing your IT, and then you can think about transferring it to the cloud. But on the other hand, you are making one single place, I call it the information fortress, where you say, okay, this is the data and the assets and the information assets that are proper to Van der Mortel IT, and then everyone in different ways can can access it. Yeah? Either from home, because people are not working from 9 to 5, but are working also in the weekend, or are working in hours where they are at hotels, when they are on traveling, and so on. So you are basically, by doing these things in IT, you are preparing yourself. The only question I have when I look to my children is, will we go far enough, and do we go fast enough?
Mm-hmm. Do we go fast enough? That is the challenge, isn't it?
Well, I think fast enough is one question, but if I can just refer to what you do in IT to make sure that these digital natives have similar tools than at home. Peter was referring to same time, so the chat tool is heavily used at Coca-Cola since 5 years. We use it on a global level, and I'm not sure how we would deal with it without, to be honest. People get quite nervous when people are not online. We've just recently installed, I'm talking about 6 months ago, we've installed the Lotus Connections tool as well, which is a kind of internal Facebook, and it's extremely difficult to find a true business value out of these type of tools. Initially, when you get it, you say, you know, when you use it privately, you put stuff on there that is maybe not that relevant, but when it's professionally, it needs to make sense. So one of the things that we truly saw that the connection or the expertise locator is a very critical element to us. What is happening within Coca-Cola typically, and I'm talking about now 10 years ago, every country did their own advertising, etc. You know, we're also living the economic crisis as anyone else. We need to replicate a lot more what we do, and actually these tools are enabling that. The marketing community is not sharing it in a very old-fashioned way. They need modern tools to share that information. We're also looking at a YouTube type of solution to be used internally in the company. So we're trying to be ahead, because we know it's important for our marketing people and the way we connect to our consumers.
Mm-hmm. And of course, Peter Kosten mentioned this brochure that's on its way to all of us here. It's arrived. That's hot news. It's and I looked through the brochure, and one of the studies said the end of advertising as we know it. The end of so many other things as we know. This example fits what you mentioned, what you do within IBM too.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of things are the end of. We have a whole series, the end of advertising, the end of television and things like that, and you see complete industries disappearing. What is happening as we speak, and it's unbelievable. We have seen what iTunes has done to the music industry, and it is predictable. It was predictable for the last 5 years. This will happen exactly the same to the video industry. What has been the answer of the video companies, you know, the movie companies? Zilch. You know, and you know, Apple is now implementing what they did to the music industry, the movie industry. Industries, you know, don't have the flexibility, the nimbleness to react to that. That's the big challenge. I like what you said very much. Do we go far enough? Do we go fast enough? Those are very, very big, crucial questions. private company. And so, you know, you're not going to be doing the same 10 years from now in many cases, and you have to rethink that.
We need to throw this at the CEOs, and we've already, we've already heard, based on hard figures from the interviews with them, that there's a bit of frustration with many CEOs about how much change you can get through your organizations. And I see you nodding again, Alexander de Wolf. Yes?
I will stop nodding. The problem, I think it's we don't use the word change in our company because change is. I came from the IT industry where, in certain stage, I was thinking, what is the company today? Because it was already history the next day. This I learned because I switched then to the electrical industry, and that it's more a tanker than a speedboat, if I would compare the IT industry. And now I'm a little bit in the middle of that, and we decided to use the word on the move. We think that as a company we have to move forward, but change is part of that, of course, but it's not the target. As a company you should always question yourself, what is my position in the market? What will be my position tomorrow? How can I make use of new trends? And of course the digital natives is a trend. That's what we are discussing as customers, as employees. And also we have to work on that, and we don't want to go too fast. That's the aim of our company as well, and been our success in the past. But of course the natives are important, but are not for us a goal as itself. It's more a new segment which we have to learn for, and we have to satisfy them as employees, and we have to satisfy them as customers. And that's the way how we see it, and we are not changing, we are on the move.
Mr. van Beervliet, of course you were being very modest in your intervention, but to us here today, you are the Cisco CEO. So give us the Cisco take on all of this.
To comment on what Alexander said, speed as such might not be the most important thing, but agility is. And using these media and using digital natives to get a better feel on the market, how fast it goes, and to create an agile organization, therefore you need that kind of environment to work with. And for us, that's one of the credos. So are we going fast enough? Mario Andretti, who was a Formula One world champion, said, if you're going fast enough, if you have everything under control, you're not going fast enough. So speed might be important for us. Agility, innovation, by definition, c'est notre métier, are key critical. And I would like to comment and make one comment on what Sabine said about finding these domains of expertise. We obviously have the same kind of environment, and it might be even a bit more sophisticated than Cisco, I could imagine.
I visited your office, so we're looking at the potential.
So every person who is on the directory within Cisco has written down his or her domains of expertise, which go from I'm an expert in fiber to the home, or in voice over IP, or I am a good hobby cook, or I'm a moderate cyclist. And these notions on the directory, which pop up and you type in a name, help to create these communities that pop up automatically, organically. So you create groups all over the world on a given team, which is organic. And the second comment I would like to make to the CIOs, we were standardized, and we are still standardized regarding PCs on IBM Windows-based PCs. Now we are a tech company with lots of engineers who love the sexiness of Apple. So these guys want Macs, they don't want IBMs. So what happens? Automatically a community is being created, pop up organically within Cisco, of guys saying, well, we will support you. So official IT is not supporting officially a Mac environment, but there is a community of hundreds, thousands of people providing the adequate support for all users within Cisco. And as a consequence, if someone has to replace his PC, well, procurement says you can choose between an IBM or a Mac. We will not support the Mac. That's your own responsibility. No problem. I have hundreds of colleagues that will do it, and we have wikis and all kinds of stuff. As a result, more than 25% of our people have Macs today. What I mean to say is that you try to control, you should not try to control everything. There is